Welcome to WP Theme Tutorial, episode 14. Today we're going to go over adding the GitHub plugin updater to your plugin, because sometimes you just don't want to have it on the WordPress.org plugin repository, or if you're like me, I don't really use SVN, I find it a pain in the butt. So I put them on GitHub and maybe get around to the WordPress plugin repository, but I do include the updater just in case anyone downloads it and wants updates later. Before we dig in, I want to encourage you, if you're watching this on the site, to go to our podcast link and subscribe to the podcast so you can get every episode. So the GitHub plugin updater is done by Joey Kudish. Hopefully I didn't butcher his last name too bad. And basically is the updater.php file is a class that hooks into the WordPress update and allows us to update the plugin directly from GitHub. You can see he has a bunch of instructions here. One thing that caught me off guard the first time is I just copied this function right here, this chunk of code, and what you really need to do, if we look at plugin.php, is initialize our function on an init. So you can jump into his function.php and see it there. What we are going to look at is my coupons for Gravity Forms plugin. This provides discount codes, coupons for Gravity Forms with a custom post type to add the coupons. And yeah, that's what it does. You can do % or dollar-based discounts for it. And what I did with this, because it is not in the WordPress plugin repository, is you can see I have our updater.php file. And I have the client site right now. We can see here it's on version 1.1. So what we need to do is, you can see I've included from line, 21 right here, down to 51, I've got the plugin update function. So when this comes out, what you need to do for your plugin is you need to change a bunch of values. You can see right there I've changed my folder name to Coupons for Gravity Forms, and you've changed my repository name to my name, which is my username on GitHub, and then the repository name. And you can see I've done that for the raw URL, the GitHub URL, the zip URL, and then you have options to see if you want to verify the SSL, what version of WordPress it requires, how far you've been tested, and then your readme.txt file. So let's bump our version number here. So we're going to bump it to 1.2. And so the important part though, and the part that our plugin is looking for, the updater is looking for, is this line right here on line 9. It needs to be formatted exactly like this with the 2 squiggly lines on each end, and since I always get their name wrong, I don't remember what character it is. So we've bumped this all to version 1.2. So what we need to do now is I'm going to open up Terminal. And you can see that right now I have 2 files that are updated, so I'm going to add them. And I'm going to push all the branches to origin. And it looks like I was actually on dev, so I'm also gonna check out master, merge the dev, and then I can just go push all again. So we need to push this on the master branch because I defined our master branch, right? You can see master and master, so I need to make sure I'm pushing it on the master branch. And it's pushed, so we can go to here and double check. You can see it says 1.2, 1.2 on our master branch. Let's go to the client site where we have this installed, the development version. And coupons for Gravity Forms, we don't have anything right now, so let's go back, go to our updates. And force it to check again. Alright, so you can see that I obviously changed the screen here. What I did was I updated all the other plugins and then came back to this to update it. And it worked just fine, so I didn't change any of the code, I just refreshed a couple times, and I guess it just had to pull GitHub and everything had to work itself out, and I was impatient. So now we can go to updates. And you can see the coupons for Gravity Forms. We can update our plugin. And here you go, you can see we updated successfully. So if we go back to our plugins, it's now on 1.2. So I guess the moral of the story is just be a little more patient than I was. This is my third time attempting it, so I was a little impatient. I actually just went back to a client plugin that I had worked it on because I have no idea why it didn't work on the other ones. Maybe I was just impatient then. Anyway, that's how you add the GitHub updater for your WordPress plugins if you don't want to put them on the WordPress.org plugin repository. Thanks for watching.